And here we go. We're on air. Hello, everybody. There's absolutely nobody watching this live, but we will record this. And we are the Canadian Personal Finance Hangout. If that's not a mouthful, I don't know what is. I'm Jackson Middleton. I'm the Kilted Broker. You can follow me on Twitter at Kilted Broker. And I'm with Sandi Martin from Spring Personal Finance. Sandi is a fee-only financial planner. Sandi, say hello so the people can see you live in black and white.
Hello
There
from
you go. There we
1953.
go. Perfect. And we've got Robb Engen from Boomer and Echo coming from Lethbridge, Alberta. Rob, if you're not frozen, say hello to the people out there.
Hi from Lethbridge.
There we go. So this is our first show, and going to talk a bit about what we're doing, and then we're going to kind of go and give some in-depth kind of bios about who the three of us are and why you should listen to us, or if you should listen to us. So the Canadian Personal Finance Hangout is a weekly Google Plus Hangout where we discuss basic personal finance issues with each other and our social community. I guess that would be you, our viewers. Our goal is to be relevant to people who want to understand what personal finance means to them directly and how it can impact their family. We'll be talking critically about the stories making finance news in Canada, and we'll be answering questions using a hashtag. And we will be using hashtag PFHCA. And if you want to check us out on our website, PFHCA stands for personalfinancehangout.ca and is also our hashtag on Twitter. We will be sharing stories and blog posts throughout the week in our Canadian personal finance community on Google+. We've been doing that for about 4 or 5 months now, and we've had lots of great conversation, and we would encourage you to join us there. Our goal is to be a resource for people who want to manage their money better, and we're excited to be here. And Sandi, I'm going to put you on the spot right now, and I'm going to get you to tell us a bit about who you are, where you've come from, and all of your hopes and dreams.
All of my hopes and dreams. Is this my short intro?
No, this is your long one. We're going to
This is my
skip the
long
short intros. Just go into the long one and let people know who you are.
Well, I was in banking for 7 years, and I got to meet a lot of really great people, and I found myself wanting to spend more and more time with those people, with people that need to know how they can balance their mortgage and their retirement savings and their education savings and just simple things like consolidating someone's debt and working on their cash flow or their budget or something. And that is not something that, it's just not the business structure that a bank pursues. I make judgments in other arenas. In this arena, I'll just say it's just not something they particularly pursue. And that was the part that I really loved. So gradually, it took me a long time. It wasn't like, I'm not a fast mover that way. So the dream kind of percolated, and I wanted to do something with people like that, but not with the sales of mortgages and credit cards and stuff on top of it. So yeah, so gradually I thought about the business, and I thought I could do some fee-only planning, which is a really ugly term. Jackson makes fun of it all the time. Fee-only planning is like, it's basically advice planning, right? It's I don't sell investments, and I can't manage your money for you or anything like that, but I can help you. I can teach you to do it, and I can teach you the skills you need to know to assess and analyze investments, which can be kind of boring for non-money nerds. So now I work with people doing the things that I always wanted to do at the bank but never really had time to do. And I don't take a lot of clients because I like to also have a life with my very young children. So that's where my hopes and dreams are, that in a few years I will have built up enough of a business that I can then work full-time and have more clients. But right now I like focusing just on the few that I have and doing a really good job with them. That's my very long story.
Excellent. And just kind of, so you were in the bank, then you've moved in, so you are a fee-only financial planner. You've got your business, and it's Spring Personal Finance, and
That's me.
people can find you at springpersonalfinance.ca.
.com.
.com. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
you went with the .com instead of the .ca. Interesting.
Well, I have the .ca too, but
Oh,
I went with the
okay.
.com.
Okay, there we go. So, Rob, why don't you tell people who you are, where you're from, what you've done, who you write for, and all that kind of good stuff.
Sure. So I'm 34. I'm married, 2 young children, and I live in Lethbridge, Alberta. I'm originally from Calgary. I moved down here to go to school and haven't moved away since. So Lethbridge is my home, and my career started out in the hospitality industry, and I now work for a university here in Lethbridge. So nothing financially related. So you might wonder why I got into writing personal finance, and I was always interested in personal finance and investing. My mom was a banker for one of the big banks for about 20 years, and she and I would talk about personal finance all the time, much to the chagrin of the rest of our family. And so one day we decided, well, let's start out, I was reading, some of the other blogs that were out there, the Million Dollar Journeys and Money Smart's blog and some of these ones, and I was following along, and I thought, as I'm pouring through the archives, reading this at night while our kid goes to bed at 7 o'clock, I figured, I could probably be writing a few of these from my own experience. And so I talked to my mom about what that might look like, and we put together, about 5 or 10 articles. And one day I downloaded WordPress, and my mom came up with the name Boomer and Echo. We didn't see a lot of that out there. There was a lot of people kind of in my situation, where it was like a 30-something just started a family and they were writing blogs, but there wasn't a lot in that boomer age category. And so we thought that would be a really unique spin on a personal finance blog. And so I basically hit publish on the first article, and off we went. And we published 5 days a week for about 2 years. And it was insane. I guess we had a lot to say. And we've slowly pared that down to about 3 days a week now, and have to recruit some expert help. So Sandi Sandi publishes once a month, and we've got another guest contributor that helps us out there. But just through writing, and I wrote a little bit on Canadian Finance Blog, and I think I was discovered there by a gentleman named Adam Mayers, who is the editor at the Toronto Star Personal Finance. And back then they were starting a new kind of, I guess, more of a personal finance blog called Moneyville, and they wanted writers from all different ages and stages in their life to try to appeal to an audience outside of Toronto. And so Adam approached me to blog there. And so not only was I doing the Boomer and Echo blog, but I was doing 2 articles a week for Moneyville. And since then, they've kind of shut that down and folded it back into the Toronto Star Personal Finance section, and I continue to write there every 2 weeks, and that's where I am. It's been a fun journey. Yeah.
Nice, that totally works. So now you, just to clear it up, you don't actually work in the personal finance, you just write a whole lot about your experience and about personal finance.
That's right. Yeah, I guess I just have the interest in personal finance and investing, and a lot, I guess at this age, you're buying a house and you've got kids and you're starting an RESP and you're just going through so much that a lot of my personal experience is more about either writing about the mistakes I've made in the past, and so other people don't have to do that, or kind of what I'm doing now, and now that I've kind of got things on track. So I just feel like this is a stage where you just have a lot going on in your life as far as money and personal finance and investing. So I just have a lot to say on it right now.
No, for sure. And I actually, I kind of find myself in the same situation where I'm actually a mortgage broker by trade. I've been, I started in 2007. I was actually a property developer before that. I got into the house flipping game. So I kind of found it a little interesting that, Sandi worked for a bank, but now does her own show. And then you and me, Rob, we don't really work in personal finance, but yet we're now hosting the Canadian Personal Finance Hangout, and I think this is awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring on guests. We're going to bring on guests who actually work in personal finance, and we're going to grill them, and we're going to do that. So if you or someone you know works in personal finance, let us know, our viewers out there, and we will we'll get you on the show. But I'll kind of get into my bio. As I said, I was I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I'm actually working for my first boss for the last year. I got involved in properties. The market went through the roof. My houses could have burnt down, and I would have made money. So I timed the market great. I'm very interested in personal finance, and I bet you my life is a biography on what not to do with money. I love money, but I just am not good at investing it. I took my money, and in 2008, I invested half of my money into junior speculative oil stocks. And I lost. I remember it took me 2 weeks to get my Trade Freedom platform set up. And man, I was the happiest kid in the world. I got my platform. I'm ready to go, and I invest. I buy my stocks. I'm sitting back. I mean, I'm spending 3 hours a day looking at my stocks, and within 2 weeks, I had lost 95% of their value. It was just like I completely deflated. Now, I made a lot of money in the housing market, fluked, and I guess my capital losses covered my capital gains, so I was, rock solid there. But moving forward, I have found that the best use of my money has been investing in myself. So in 2007, I actually set up a mortgage company. I started working as an independent. I basically floated myself for 2 years on salary from my previous earnings so that I could invest in my business and grow my business to a point where I didn't have to draw money from my business, which I felt was a really good thing for me because I could grow my business naturally rather than having to rely on every single sale. I didn't need to be that greasy salesman. I could actually take time and care about people. So I found that growing my mortgage business was really quite a bit of fun. I worked for a national brokerage for 3 years, and then I started my own company called Highland Mortgage Partners in 2010, and I found that my favorite part of mortgage brokering was actually the finance side. I really enjoyed sitting down with a young couple. I really tailored my marketing towards first-time home buyers and people who just had no clue. When I'd ask them if they had a credit score, they'd ask me, what's a credit score? So, I mean, in the years that I was a mortgage broker, my real passion was helping people out, meeting them at a coffee shop, and spending 2 to 3 hours with each client, going through, okay, this is what a debt service ratio is. This is what, and going through all of the steps for qualifying for a mortgage. I know that people don't understand everything, nor do they have to, but my goal was always provide people with as much information as they need to make a good, educated decision. And that's what I really want to accomplish with this personal finance hangout, because I think there's a lot of people talking about personal finance, but it's usually, and maybe I'll get in trouble for saying this, but I find finance bloggers have a real tendency to want to up the ante and, keep climbing the ladder and who can blog more intricate, detailed stuff and use acronyms that people don't understand just to be kind of... And I'm hoping that what we can do is appeal to more of a household finance. Like, how does this affect you? How does the news in Canada affect you? So, getting back to my story, I ramble a lot. I do that. I got involved in social media in 2010 and really grew my mortgage business through social media. And really, I sold. I got so busy that I wasn't spending enough quality time with my clients because I just had so much to do, and I'm not an administrative person. I'm more of a, hey, let's go out and talk over coffee than administrative. So I sold my mortgage business to First Foundation Residential Mortgages in January of 2013, and I've kept on as the executive editor of the Own, Grow, Protect blog. And I'm losing my voice. Water. So that's what I do now. Is I'm actually a social media guy, and I professionally do social media and have for the last year, but really love the conversation around personal finance. So, Sandi, we were talking a little bit before, and about you kind of spurned me on to the line of thinking that the conversation is kind of heady. Why don't you talk a bit about that and just let people know where you're coming from there?
Oh, about personal finance. I just find that it's almost what you said. It's when you start writing about personal finance or talking about it. Rob and I were at a conference a little while ago, and someone used a phrase, you have to feed the goat. He was talking about television. I blog, but I don't do it that often because I have to balance it with client work, and the last thing I want is to have a big deadline for a client and then have a blog post come out while I'm working on it. It's like, yeah, I can't finish your work because I'm busy writing. So I try not to fall into the feed the goat mentality, but I think once you get, and I don't know, Rob, if you feel that way sometimes, you get to a point where you feel like, well, I need to write something, and I can't write about whatever because everybody else has been writing about it forever and ever, so I'm just going to write something else. I don't know. I'm not very good at explaining it, but I just find that you get the people who really spend time thinking about their posts and really trying to convey good information can't write as often as, I don't know how to explain that. I'm sorry.
So someone like me.
No, that's horrible. That's not what I mean at all.
That's awesome.
No, there's some great bloggers out there who can put out a post that's so heavily researched, and they just write in a style that is really refreshing, and it's very unique, and they can put those posts out. And I can't do that. I can write about little subjects and take a 400 or 500 word short take on it, I guess, and that's how I kind of approach the content. It's not like, oh, I have to put out something today. Maybe some days it's like that, but for the most part, it's like taking a topic and exploring it. And there's thousands of personal finance topics, and I'm not trying to save the world with every post, I guess. So that's we're just trying to build consistency, and we've grown an audience now where I kind of think that they Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's kind of the approach I take, anyways. That so I want to deliver something for them, right? It's like, I guess, having your TV programs on once a week, and you expect it to be on. So obviously we want to deliver good content and make it and want them wanting to engage in it and whatnot.
If I could backpedal a bit.
I love when you backpedal. Anyways, go on.
That's not really. Yeah. It doesn't mean that if someone has volume that they're necessarily light. Do you know what I mean? It's not. I don't think that Boomer and Echo is personal finance light. I just mean that there's a lot of information out there that gets to the point where a household, just kind of what you were saying, Jackson, that a normal person who doesn't think about finance, because we think about it all the time. We're either writing about it all the time or we're dealing with clients all the time. We think about it to the nth degree. We're shaving pennies. And there's people that who otherwise are just looking for information on whatever, RESPs, or can I take the money out if my kid doesn't go to university or something. They feel guilty for not optimizing their life completely. Like I always make that joke about, I don't have a free checking account. And I don't put all of my stuff on a credit card, and it's like it's violating the rules of personal finance. If you get into that world, sometimes you feel like, I don't want to interact with these people because they're all way smarter than me and they've got everything optimized down to the last penny. And I don't know. I think sometimes that we give the impression that our lives or that we're smarter than we maybe are sometimes.
And I promise you that I will not let this go there, because I can't take it there. I got a lot of mortgage experience, but I mean, I still don't know what an EFT or ETF or whatever you guys talk about is. So I will be the guy that if we get into kind of the high level stuff, I'll bring us right back down to reality. And I'm kind of looking forward to that. So that'll be fun. But no, I think really, if we could summarize what we're looking to do with the Canadian Personal Finance Hangout is we're looking to have a conversation about money. We're going to talk about stuff that's in the news, and we're going to talk about stuff that people want to talk about. And I think that the social aspect is a lot of fun. I mean, Sandi, you've been involved with some stuff socially, like it was actually kind of like a question and answer period or something like that. And Rob, you've done some stuff socially, and I think that we're just going to have fun. And if anybody's expecting suit and tie and stock advice, please don't watch our show. That's not what you're going to get here. What you're going to get here is honest people trying the best to make sense out of stuff that could help you out. Personal finance. It's actually quite easy to talk about, and as you can tell, we're going to have an opinion on some stuff, and we probably will disagree, and we'll try our best to not disagree with our guests. And yeah, so Sandi, I'm going to give you a final comment, and then Rob, and then, oh, by the way, I'm going to moderate. That's kind of what I do because I got the social side, and Rob and Sandi will speak intelligently on stuff. So Sandi, why don't you close us up, and then Rob, you get the final word, and then I'm going to go peace out. So
I can't promise to speak intelligently all the time. I'm pretty much an enormous goofball, except for when it comes to talking about money and being. I'm a money nerd. So this kind of stuff, I would do this. I mean, I am doing this mostly for fun, and I like it, and I'm gonna not be totally serious all the time. Also, I'm kind of I put that on my Twitter. I mean, I'm a curmudgeon. I'm fairly skeptical and. Yeah, so we'll see how that all plays out. Hopefully I won't insult people every single time we have a hangout.
So you're going to offend people. You will offend people, and you're a curmudgeon. Can we can summarize it like that? Perfect. Rob?
Well, I'm just excited that we're doing something like this. I find like the most enjoyable part, or I get the most satisfaction out of helping like individual readers, I guess, where they send an email after an article and they have a follow-up question, or if there's a forum or some of the social media sites where people are asking questions and they're just looking for real advice, and that's what we were talking about earlier. Like they're just looking for honest to goodness personal finance advice and not some junior mining stock tips, Jackson.
Yeah.
So and so I think I get a lot of satisfaction out of that, and so I'd enjoy doing it on this kind of platform where it's just a more fun way to interact.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm at. Because of our involvement, the three of us are moderators in the Canadian Personal Finance Hangout, and Larry McDonald from the Globe and Mail gave Sandi and I each an email. Rob, did they do an article on you or no?
Yeah, I did one a few years ago.
Okay.
When my mom and I were first starting our blog, we did one.
He's well ahead of us, Jack.
Yeah, I know. That's old hat to him.
He's advanced.
Yeah, but Larry McDonald hit us from Globe and Mail, and they put out the article, and they did an article on each Sandi and I love it. The first comment, I mean, you gotta understand. Like, I phoned my dad up, and it's like, Dad, I'm in the Globe and Mail. He's like, son, you made me so proud. And then, honestly, the first comment on the Globe and Mail article, this guy's an idiot. I'm just like, awesome. How does it get better than that? I get called an idiot in the comments. So I promise, this is a social show. If you want to call us an idiot, we can find your Twitter handle and we will have a discussion about it. So, yeah, no, thanks for watching if you've made it this far, and we look forward to talking with you, and yeah, look forward to what we have in store. And you can always check us out at personalfinancehangout.ca, and I'll have the links there. We've got the Google Plus community, and we've got the Twitter. So there we go. Thanks, guys. We're out of here. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night, folks.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.